In the Heights, the former, I guess, and probably still is a theater play brought to the big screen, adapted, and In the Heights, most known for being Lin-Manuel Miranda's, first, I think, big hit in the
Hmm.
city.
Yeah.
Um, Even though it wasn't solely written by him, I think he had a collaborator on this.
Yeah, he did. Chiara
Yes.
Allegria Hudes wrote the book that the play became based on, but Lynn did all the music,
Mhm.
and you can tell because there's a lot of Hamilton DNA in terms of the melody and the rhythms that would feel familiar to anyone who's heard Hamilton.
Yeah. And I think he also starred in this originally, so where Anthony Ramos
That's right.
plays the main role of Usnavi,
Yeah.
which
Great name origin, by the way. So funny.
hilarious. But he played Usnavi in the theater adaptation, at least the
Mm,
first
he did. Yep.
cast on Broadway.
And
And
Ramos eventually joined, I believe, as the younger dude role once the play had been going on. So Ramos has quite the history with Lynn, which makes sense how he became obviously the original Lauren/Philip Hamilton for
yes,
Hamilton as well. So we're in the Lynn extended universe. This is a film adaptation of the musical that's been in the works for a while. Um, it seemed to once they attached John Chu, fresh off Crazy Rich Asians, to this, it really came together for at Warner Brothers, and this was supposed to come out last summer. They held it. Here we are now, day and date on HBO Max as well as the theater. It's kind of the first new movie of the real box office comeback in 2021 that has disappointed at the box office. Because we've seen all the other HBO Max releases do pretty well. Kong, Mortal Kombat, Conjuring 3. But In the Heights of all movies is the one that seems to have disappointed, which I find very unfortunate because I think In the Heights is really awesome.
yeah, it's hard to like think about, because when you think about some of the like big musicals, that are uh, most well known, names like Grease might come to mind, or I
Mhm.
guess like what are other like
Chicago,
yeah, Chicago is a really good example.
Hairspray, Mamma Mia.
Actually, I don't think I've seen Hairspray all the way
I
through,
haven't
but
either.
Mamma Mia also really good. But you think about those, and it feels like it's a lot to live up to. Those are really well regarded movies. Some of them are considered classics, and I think In the Heights, in moments, really gets there. Like, I don't think it's a perfect movie. Obviously, with a lot of these stage to screen adaptations, they're a little long. This definitely feels a little long, and I think there's certain storylines that could have been cut down a bit. Maybe felt like it dragged a little bit more when it was following certain characters as opposed to others. But the music in this, the production design, the colors, the costume and
Yeah.
makeup, I think is all really impressive. And John Chu, after Crazy Rich Asians fame, feels like one of those directors that his stock should only be rising from this. And I hope that people take the box office just for what it is, which is probably like it's still COVID. People
Mhm.
are still just getting used to going back to movie theaters,
Right.
and
Musicals seem to trend with the older audience, and older
yeah,
audiences haven't been going back as much. Also, musicals at the box office is historically a mixed bag. And also, the most successful musicals of late at the box office were released in the fall and winter, such as The Greatest Showman, which became a really unlikely smash hit at the end of the day.
yeah,
Still
and
disappointing
TikTok
result
trend.
given the Hamilton uh, mega success on Disney Plus just last year.
Mhm.
So we'll see how the legs are for this kind of movie. You have to imagine it'll stick around for a bit, but it seems everyone who's seeing it is a big fan of it. And like you said, John Chu is quite in demand. He will be making the Wicked film adaptation for Universal next, so he's going after it. But like his direction really, I think, elevates this movie because it feels like a movie, and like I think that can be an easy sin for a stage adaptation is if you don't make it feel cinematic and try and elevate it, with more production design that you have at your disposal as a film, as opposed to just something on stage.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think it definitely does feel like a movie. Um, even if you look at the picture that I have behind me or the picture Dave has behind him, you can see that there's like choreography going on, obviously, but it doesn't feel like people are like just coming running onto the stage from off stage. It really feels like Washington Heights at points, and it looks like it too at certain points, which I think is really impressive because I think one of the things they get across in this pretty well is that Washington Heights at times can be a challenging area for some people. Not saying it's like a bad area, but I know that it definitely has a lower socioeconomic status, at least
Mhm.
than a lot of parts of New York City, and it's very poor, for lack of a better way of saying it. So I think when you have that going on, it's easy to kind of make this place feel like really dingy or not so bright. But what they really lean into is the culture of it all, which I think is the part that really makes this movie thrive. Is that they bring about the vibrance of these immigrants who have come to the United States looking for an opportunity, looking to make their lives better in some way. I think having the families, the different generations that came to America looking for that opportunity, and the younger generations that are dreaming of leaving to go and find opportunity elsewhere is a really nice juxtaposition. And it's all kind of in this like multicolored, um, you know, uh, setting, which is just
Mhm.
really captivating. And I found Anthony Ramos, obviously, and I believe it was Leslie Grace, right? Who,
As Nina.
yeah, as Nina. Those two, their chemistry. They were the two together, right?
Oh
I feel
no,
like I'm
it's
getting
it's
confused.
Melissa
Yes,
Barrera as
sorry.
Vanessa, and Ramos as a Usnavi. That's the pair. And then
Yes,
you have Corey Hawkins, Benny, and
and
Leslie Grace as Nina. Those are the
Nina.
two
Yes,
couples.
thank you. I found Anthony Ramos and Melissa Barrera together to be totally captivating on screen. I thought their chemistry
Mhm.
just jumped off. What did you think about them?
Yeah, I thought they were great. Ramos in particular stands out because this is him really getting that star turn. Obviously, been in the
Mhm.
Lynn orbit, been in the Hamilton orbit for some time. Small role in A Star Is Born, but he hasn't had that big thing. But now you have this, and right now he's filming the new Transformers movie.
Mm,
He's the lead alongside Dominique Fishback. Very exciting. And Ramos just has a natural charisma uh, to his presence, and he
yeah.
has that kind of star power. And Melissa Barrera, who has had a longer career, I believe, down in Mexico, but has been in Hollywood more recently, another person who seems like she should definitely have a lot more doors open now because it was another great turn from her.
Yep.
Easy charisma. Uh, really like them. Chemistry is really strong. And, just speaking like what you said about like Washington Heights, and I think what is interesting about this adaptation of the film is, the play is written in the musical came out like '08, right? And cleaned up
Mhm.
at the Tonys a long time ago. And so there's some tweaks to the story because you're making the movie now. And one of the I think interesting comments from Chu is that they're not like talking about like gentrification as like some like threat to Washington Heights. It's already accepted that gentrification is happening and pushing people out of the Heights. Hence
Mhm.
why the salon owners are moving to the BX, right? Because
Right.
it's just happening, right? Like the last vestiges of affordability in Manhattan is already gone,
Mhm.
and that's what's happening. So I liked how like they tweaked it here and there. You have the DACA coming up
Yeah.
uh, as like a plot here. I don't know if that subplot felt as completely colored into me. Felt a little thin.
Mhm.
Um,
I
but
agree.
still a way to modernize it. I get it. Like you have some subplots here, but I think probably the most compelling stuff is just your romances, particularly Usnavi and Vanessa.
Vanessa. Yeah, and Benny, played by Corey Hawkins, like you mentioned, and Nina by Leslie Grace. While I really liked those two characters apart, I think when it was following their romance, I felt a little bit less interested. And I think that kind of culminates in the scene near the end. I forgot which song it was, but where they do like the
Yes.
dancing on the side of the buildings, and
Hmm.
that just felt a little bit like. tiring to me, and I just wanted to like have that almost
Yeah,
be over with.
it was just kind of the tension between the two as a relationship or potential
Yeah.
relationship just felt a little uneven to me. I actually kind of felt that way about Usnavi and Vanessa. It's like at least their tension is like, oh well, they're moving in different directions. They just can't be together. Like physically, they will not be in the same place, right? But like
Mhm.
Benny and Nina, it's just like it's like, all right, well, if she's staying, then you're good. If she's not, then you're not. I don't know. Like what's and
Yeah.
like like the other thing too is I think another kind of like more modern update in the Heights is I think how they kind of like frame Nina coming back and how she doesn't feel welcome in this very
Hmm.
affluent white place that is Stanford University, and she wants to leave, just doesn't feel at home there. And then you have everyone else in the Heights who's like, no, no, you're the one who made it out. You need to do this so you can have a better life. And like for me, it just felt like it lacked a little attention because it's just an obvious result. Like, no, she'll go back. She'll stick it out and find her purpose, right? And she'll uh make herself better than maybe unfortunate circumstances where she's going to school.
Hmm.
Like it just kind of lacked a little tension for me because I kind of just saw that part coming. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like Nina and Benny, like they're just the side couple at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you know.
It does feel like that, and I think the chemistry between them also just didn't really like crackle the same way Ramos and Barrera did. But even moving off that, I felt like some of the songs I liked the most were not necessarily around the romance. Like I thought
I agree.
uh the song in the styling salon, the hair salon, was really fantastic and just vibrant. I liked the little touch of the like wigs dancing in the
Oh yeah.
background at points. Thought that was great. I liked the one where they were going out to the nightclub. I thought that was great. And I think by far the at least like choreography that stood out the most to me was the pool. Like I thought the
Yeah.
pool was like
96,000.
yes, and great song. I don't know, just really
Mhm.
enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Any other songs that stood out to you?
There's a great article on Vulture about how they filmed the pool scene, which was at the Highbridge pool in the Bronx. It was over 3 days right before they had opened the pool to the public, but right after they had put water in. And a lot of interesting rules about how they got that. You cannot use drones in New York City. So getting those high camera shots were more challenging than they normally would be. A lot of interesting tidbits in there about how they pulled that off. But yeah, I mean, in terms of set pieces, right?
Mm,
Just crazy choreography in the water, underwater, tons of extras, and it's a great song on top of
yeah,
that, you know.
and
So
Sonny, the kid played by Gregory
yeah,
Diaz the fourth, was just really great in that.
yeah. So that was a
Awesome to
great
see.
moment. I also really like the opening number in the Heights, another awesome
Yeah,
set piece. You know, a little reminiscent of the opening number for Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton. There's a lot of similar DNA in terms of how the ensemble interplays and how like your central character is kind of moving around. People are coming into and out of his orbit. Very familiar vibes to me, but I think it's still a really effective way to get the movie going.
I agree. And, I also really enjoyed just the ending. I thought that it was a really strong ending, definitely emotional. I think definitely drives home what they want you to come away with from the movie about like staying in your community, working to make it better, investing in the people around you is just really a nice message. And I'm also seeing here as I'm looking through the Spotify release of the songs. Um, I guess this might be from the Broadway. I don't think they've released the movie one yet, but obviously, like Christopher Jackson, he plays the ice cream man, and Lin-Manuel Miranda plays the uh, ice scraper guy. I
Yeah,
don't even know what they're called.
Piagua. I
Perigua,
forget how you say it.
something
Yeah,
like
like
that.
there's like the shaved ice, like kind of snow cone.
Yeah, but you see like that Hamilton, like
Mhm.
those touches throughout.
Right.
Like Jimmy Smits at one point is on hold, and you can hear the King George song going on.
Yeah,
It's
you'll
just
be
like little
back.
things
Yeah.
like that.
So,
So,
so Chris Jackson actually was the original Benny for In the Heights as
oh,
well. So there's
gotcha.
actually like double DNA there as well.
Love
Um,
that.
Also, I liked in the very beginning, you had the Kid Marrow doing some like
Mm.
radio
Yeah.
voiceover. Nice little touch there. Uh, there was one moment where the young kid part of the song like says "you" and like he mimics the like dance for Soldier Boy, and I wonder
Hmm.
if that was always in the play because obviously the play came out right after Crank That, or if that was a new choice for the film. I haven't seen the musical, so I can't speak to that, but I know I noticed it.
Yeah.
um, I also want to shout out uh, Paciencia y Fe, which is the big number for Abuela, where she like basically tells you about her whole journey coming from, I believe, Cuba to
Mhm.
NYC, and just another really beautiful, beautiful number and really transporting. I think the movie does a great job of elevating a scene like that where you can't pull something like that off on stage, but like to actually like put her in the subway and like throw her back in time. And this is a really moving number. And the woman who played her also was the original Abuela from the musical.
Oh, that's great. Um, I gotta say, I just found this to be a really like fun watch. Again, it's a little long and at times it lulls, but overall, I think if you have access to this, whether going to the movie, if you can see the movie theater, I bet the movie theater experience is a lot better than
Oh,
the experience I had
absolutely. The
on my
sound, the big
couch.
screen.
Yeah, the colors. I mean, everything is probably amazing. So if you feel comfortable going and can do so, I'd recommend it. Um, I think like the one thing I'm really left with is, or I guess one last piece on this, Mark Antony not looking great, and maybe that's for this role, but he was looking real skinny. I was a little concerned about him, and
Wait, who was he?
he played was it Usnavi's father? When he goes to see
Oh,
him and he like has that conversation about
didn't even
is that
recognize
Usna?
him.
Yeah, he plays
Oh, wait, no, or is it the lawyer dude? Is that who it
no,
was?
it's Usnavi's father.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Um
missed that. Yeah,
yeah, the lawyer was somebody too. I couldn't place him. He was that guy for sure for me.
right.
Um but there's you mentioned it earlier, or at least alluded to it. A lot of musicals out this year. We have Dear Evan Hansen coming out.
Hmm.
We have
West Side
West Side
Story,
Story.
Redux by Spielberg,
Why so many musicals all of a sudden?
probably Hamilton. But
Yeah,
like, but
good point.
it feels a little soon to get the Dear Evan Hansen filmed adaptation, right? Dear Evan
That had to be already
Hansen's,
planned,
yeah, but like
right?
it's still like that musical is only what 5 years old or something. It's relatively new. Like I said, John Chu's adapting Wicked. Wicked's a lot older, In the Heights, a lot older.
I
So
have to imagine for Dear Evan Hansen, they probably were like, if we don't do it now, Ben Platt's really gonna look not like a high
yeah,
schooler. So
that
I
might be
feel
it.
like gotta get that done. Um, yeah,
in terms
it's just go ahead.
in terms of In the Heights, I think in terms of like length, right? It's 2.5 hours. It's long, and I don't know if I want to like suggest cutting any numbers. I believe some numbers were already cut, but if there's one thing I would have tweaked, I think the narration between
Mm,
Usnavi to those kids on the beach.
yeah,
Then by the end, you realize it's not actually at the beach. I don't know if that was completely necessary. Probably a little handholdy for the audience. I
I
don't know.
agree.
Like, I guess it's a way to get like these cute kids there, and at the end, you're like, oh yeah,
They
see,
are cute kids.
they had a kid. Honestly, the little girl who plays Usnavi Vanessa's daughter looks like the little sister of Ramos or the daughter of Ramos. Like she definitely looked
Yeah, great casting.
like the kid. Well done. Um, Also, just really happy for Corey Hawkins. Obviously, I think a lot of people have been really in on Corey Hawkins since Straight Outta Compton, and he's had some moments on stage, on TV, some smaller movie roles, but this felt like a really meaty part, and I didn't know he had this in him,
Mhm.
in terms of being a song and dance guy as well. So I hope this leads to bigger opportunities for him as well.
You know who else? I guess two people in this that were really surprising to me. First, Stephanie Beatriz Bischoff. I can't even say this last name. Alvizuri. I might have butchered that, but she plays. Um, she's on Brooklyn Nine Nine.
Yeah, she's one of the salon.
Diaz.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great and unrecognizable at first. And I was like, wait, I think that's
Hmm.
she's from Brooklyn Nine Nine. Great for her. Jimmy Schmitz. Who
Oh, of
knew he could do
course,
this?
the
I mean,
goat.
he's great, but I guess he wasn't really singing. He was kind of like Pierce Brosnan in Mamma Mia, where he just kind of
Sure.
is like talk singing. But it was great to see Jimmy Schmitz like tearing it
Hmm.
up a bit.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked him a
Yeah,
lot. He's been a little inactive, post West Wing, just cashing some Star Wars checks randomly. It's he hasn't been doing too much, so nice to see him.